talking.
It's interesting. But going back, what I'd want to do is even this. I'm curious to know about the Sammy growing up. Like you growing up in a family in Brooklyn, your mom, your dad, 2 sisters. I think you're the youngest of 3.
Right.
Who was Sammy growing up? What was your personality like? Even at 10 years old, 12 years old. I'm not even talking 16 in high school with the incident of you and your principal, you punching him in the face. Who were you at 8 years old? Who were you at 10 years old?
I think I was just like any other kid. I was dyslexic. I was a very slow learner with books, not with visual things or hearing things, but with books, stuff like that. The number 3 looked like an 8, so I was always wrong. So as soon as the teacher said, "What number is that?" Now, if it looked like an 8 to me, I would say 3. You're right. Not because I was right, but because I was wrong so many times. So an 8, I knew it wasn't 8, it was 3, and vice versa. And I hung out with kids, and I grew with kids. I mean, just like any other kid. My father was a painter, then he got lead poisoning and he couldn't paint. There was used to be lead in the paint. My mother was a seamstress. So she was so good at it, she worked in a factory in New York for a Jewish contractor. She used to make the dresses for the models that they were going to show the thing and sell it. So the contractor told her, "Katie," her name was Kay and they called her Katie, "why don't you open up a small little factory? You're great at this." So she talked to my father. He couldn't paint no more, so they opened up a small little factory together. They knew all the Italian people, all them ladies from Italy who was here. They all know how to sew. And they all went in there and sewed, and they had a little dress factory. And then we used to go in and help from time to time. And I wasn't the youngest of 3. I was the youngest of 5. My brother died, and one of my sisters died before I was even born. And who was left was 2 sisters. One was 9 years older than me, one was 5 years older than me.
Did that feeling of you not getting A3, I see this, dyslexic, did that create any rage in you? Like, I'm a little bit different, why am I being treated this way, or not at all?
No, there was plenty of rage.
There was plenty of
Absolutely.
rage. Since
I got
what
left
age?
back in the 4th grade.
Okay.
I don't even know how old you're supposed to be in the 4th grade, but I got left back in the 4th grade. So now when I go forward, they're younger than me. And the teacher would say a certain word, a big word, ask somebody to spell it. I was in the back of the class all the time. And another kid to spell another word. They would get to me and say, "Okay, Gvarano, spell cat." The whole class would giggle. I was so ashamed and rage I felt. After school, I beat the shit out of everybody. I was actually older and bigger than them, and I was a strong kid. I beat the shit out of all of them. There was no more laughing. When I hit the 7th grade, I got left back again. And at that point, I said, school's not for me, just not for me. And I hardly went. I used to play hooky all the time, and one day, that's how that thing started with it and the teacher. I got caught by truant officers who went around and caught kids playing hooky. And I was a little drunk. They brought me up to the principal. I was sitting in the principal's office and he was talking to the principal and he was saying, "This is what they are. The upbringing isn't there." He used the word greaseball. It's a slur, a racist slur against black Italian people. That didn't bother me too much. But when he was saying what kind of people these people are, this is a result, these kind of kids. So at one point I got up and said, this has nothing to do with my mother and father. They're hardworking people. This has to do with me. He said something about my mother and father again. I cracked him a shot, I broke his jaw, and I was thrown out of school. Months later, in front of the Board of Education, I was transferred to another school, McKinley Junior High School. It was in a different neighborhood, mostly Irish, Polacks. The Irish and the Italian didn't get along at all. I wasn't a bad-looking kid. I got along with the girls, but not the boys. Every day I was in a fight, in trouble. Finally, I get thrown out of that school too. I did find a teacher in that school who really tried to help me, a Mr. Mindrecki. I respected this guy. He knew I wasn't stupid. He just knew I had a learning problem. Matter of fact, he would even tell me, if you get frustrated, you want to walk out of the class, walk out. And I got to respect this guy a lot. And I actually wanted to make him look good. So I was trying to hang in, but I flunked that school and I was sent to 600 school. In there's all misfits. I was in that school. I think it was the first week. There was a guy sitting in front of me, he was dressed in, looked like a robe. And I said something funny, the class was laughing. And he tapped his book, his Bible, on my head, on my forehead. You shouldn't do this, and you're the devil. After about the third or fourth time he hit me on the head, and when he was talking, I hit him and knocked his ass out. I was thrown out again of 600 school. The Board of Education called me. I was under 16. They said, he's out, suspended. On his 16th birthday, you can come here and sign him out. We never want him back in regular school. And if you don't, we're gonna put him in reform school. So the next step was, it's like a kid's jail. So my mother and father kept me out. When I was 16, they went there and signed me out. So I felt rage. But what I felt and I saw the pain in their face. Like they want their son to be successful or do something. And it broke their heart. They never hit me. My mother hit me with brooms and mops and whatever, but my father never hit me.
Family of love. They loved you.
They loved me. They adored me. I was the only boy. I was a little boy. My sisters were older. They would take me. They almost acted like a mother. One of them is 5 years older. One's 9 years older. They're much older than me. Then I found a gang, the Rampers, a street gang, just like any other gang, I guess. Tough kids. We got together and fought and stole and did things. And to us, it was the right thing. We were doing the right thing. We were even helping our families who were broke.
At this point, you're what, 17 years old?
No, I'm in a gang, I'm 14.
Oh, 14, you're in the gang.
14, 15.
Got it. So typically when somebody joins a gang, there's something missing in the house. Not a father figure or something like that, right? But you have love. Your mom hit you, your dad didn't hit you. Typically it's the other way around. We'll forgive mom because it's mom. What could have been done to prevent Sammy Gvarano from becoming Underboss Sammy the Bull Gvarano? Could the system or anything been done to prevent it and squashed it right there, and Sammy goes a different direction with his life? Or
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. First of all, my